Hello, agents, and welcome to the fourth episode of the Ingress Insights podcast, hosted by myself, PkmnTrainerJ. Ingress Insights is a podcast all about the Niantic game Ingress. If you'd like to connect with us, you can follow us over on Instagram or Threads under ingress.insights, or you can email us over at ingressinsights@gmail.com. On this episode, we're talking about the Ingress Year 11 event, which is running right now. A small update to the Phase 2 Discovery Kinetic Challenge. And there's also been a new update released to the app, which gets new stats. And we'll also cover Second Sunday, which is happening right now, as part of our feature cover section. So moving now on to Year 11. The anniversary event for Ingress is happening right now as you're listening to this podcast, and the 15th of November marks Ingress's 11th anniversary. As a summary, they've provided a short update on what's going on that event. So it's double AP, double deploy of level 8 resonators per agent. You have 11-minute drone cooldown. Any kinetic programs take only 1 kilometer, and you can run 11 at a time. And you get double hack output during the celebration. I've covered it in detail on previous podcasts, so I'm not going to go into more detail here, but I will drop the link to the Ingress news article so you can see the badge and further updates from there. So far I'm enjoying Year 11 myself. This is the Ingress anniversary event that I've been a part of. I started a few days after the end of the Year 5 event, so I don't think I got that badge. But I always like getting extra AP and being able to deploy more resonators. It's always good. I just need to remember to move my drone every 11 minutes because I'm bad enough at that when it's every hour. But so far, finding it good. I don't need the badge that they have in the store for this event because it was already given out as part of a previous kit. But if you do need it and you think the bundle sounds good, then go for it. It's completely up to you. Some people don't like badges they can buy from the store. And then next we'll move on to another event still happening at the same time, which is Discoverie Phase 2. As mentioned, we do have another event going on at the same time, which is the second phase of Discovery Anomaly. This is the Kinetic Challenge as part of Phase 2, which you can do from anywhere. And Ingress shared an update on the 3rd of November, say in the midst of the Discovery Kinetic Challenge. The Resistance continues to hold on to their lead by a razor-thin margin of 250 agents. Check on and fight for your faction by getting 30 kinetic program claims in the next few weeks. So Discovery Phase 2 ends on the 17th of November. So in this time, now that the Year 11 events are running, you can run 11 kinetic capsules at once, and they only take 1 kilometer to complete. So some agents have been waiting for this to come along so they can do their 30 and earn their badge in that way. It may, the scales a bit towards enlightened, it may mean that resistance have a major victory rather than a minor one, but whatever faction you are, do encourage your fellow agents to go out, do their kinetic capsules, and try and help fight for your team. As a reminder, there is a boost of 1.331 to the score for Phase 3 as part of this. So it does help your faction that are going to the live anomalies gain a bit of an advantage. So if you can, go and walk some more capsules, and then Ingress will post an update once Phase 3 has concluded as to the score of Phase 2 for the kinetic capsules. So now I'm going to move on to the next section. Like I mentioned in the intro, there's been a minor update to Ingress, and this was released on the 9th of November. This is the Ingress 2.129.1 release. In this, there's nothing major that we can see. It mentions it's for bug fix and other improvements. So there have been fixes for codename and faction selection screens that are being shown to some existing agents. There's also been a brief recruitment video added, which is designed for new recruits before they create their Ingress account, presumably so they know what's going on. One of the main updates to this is that overclock checkpoints have been added to agent stats as a full stat. If you don't see this immediately, you can do an overclock that, and then it will show up even if you fail that. I failed when I was trying to get it to show. So overclock points are earned upon each successful reality calibration, 5 points, as well as successful overclock glyph sequence completion, which is 1 to 15 points based on portal level. If you don't have any overclock portals near you, you can do some scans and submit those, and then you can ask Niantic via the app, or you can ask someone with access to the Wayfarer app to see if they can activate those portals for you. Niantic do activate them themselves from time to time, but it's easier to ask someone that's got access to submit a request for that to be VPS activated. You can ping me on Telegram, I don't mind. That's not a problem at all. And then I'm going to move on now to our next section. And it's just a personal update from me. So I talked about the Ingress Origins kits have now finished and all been sent out. There's still a few people waiting for them. Mine arrived, and so far I think I only have 6 duplicate cards or badges I already had, which is not too bad. I'm probably going to dot a few of them around for the podcast just as passcode. So if you think you find a passcode on the podcast or on a page related to the podcast and you don't like character badges, then take that as a bit of a clue not to do anything with that code. Pass it on to someone who does like character badges if you don't want it messing with your profile. I've also got my deck box, which, as others have said, is a bit underwhelming. I think I could probably buy a better one at a local board game and card game shop for a lot cheaper than the total price of all the kits. But it's there, it's got my name on, it looks okay, but I probably wouldn't have picked it up separately if I'd seen it somewhere else. I'd love to know if you've got your, if you ordered them, or if you don't bother with these kits, don't bother with character badges at all, and how you just feel in general about what Ingress sells in their store. And now we're going to move on to just talking about updates to the NL1331 experience and events. One of the Ingress events that we plan to cover in more detail in a future episode is the NL1331 events, which usually happen when Ingress team attend a large event, like Comic-Con, or when they've done Anomaly, there's sometimes a day that follows on after that. So I'll just for now cover and say that the well-known driver for the van, whose name is Ethan, was let go as part of what's in the Ingress team. And as part of this and part of other, the van itself stopped physically appearing at locations. And often it was only the portal or another vehicle with an NL1331 sticker on it. The events otherwise ran as normal. We do try to be unbiased in where we get news from for Ingress, so this comes from a Resistance news channel called RG1N, and I'll link to in the show notes as well. So they've written that NL1331 lives on. Part of Niantic's Ingress team, including Brian Rose, Alex, who's a technical artist, and Norman, who's a tech lead, met with a nice group of agents on Friday at 2023 Hackaday SuperCon in Pasadena, the US, and they did bring along the actual van with them this time. Reports were received that the event was a pleasant meet and greet with Niantic, who were interested in hearing agent stories and experiences, new team members getting introduced, and a farewell to the developer behind Adventure Sync for all platforms, who's been with Ingress since the beginning and now going into retirement from Niantic. It's also mentioned that the previous driver of the van, Ethan, who I mentioned, is now working for Niantic Supply. So they're still kind of with Niantic in that way, just not part of the Ingress team anymore. I've not attended a NL1331 event myself. I'd heard rumours that certain factors, such as Brexit, were causing issues in being able to get the van over here in the UK where I am, but I don't know how true that is. But if we do get a UK anomaly in 2024, which I'm always trying to push for whenever I can, then I would hope that the van appears there and I can get the van, meet a few of the Ingress team. And now I'm going to move on to an update from the Ingress Japanese community. This next part is from the Japanese Ingress community, which I was notified to via a post from Brian Rose on X. He wrote, Ingress Happy Holidays. I signed up for December 25th. Even if you don't speak Japanese, consider posting or reading with DeepL Translate. Thanks, TO1027ME. So for this tweet to make sense, this is a calendar that's been done a few years in a row now by this community, where they will look and write posts about Ingress. This year it's about Ingress and Wayfarer. I'm just going to read the DeepL translation of what they're doing, and I'll post the link in the show notes as well. So it says, Ingress in 2023, what has the year been like for you all? Many events took place this year. Domestic anomalies were held in Ueda in June and in Kobe in September, and Mission Day and the distribution party were also held, offering not only tools but also socializing and fun. Standalone mission days were held in MD in March, MD Otaru in September, MD Kusatu Onsen in October, MD Kashihara and MDL Hinohara Village in November, and in December, MD Kanmon KO will be held. Hex Quest was implemented at the MZFPK event in March. It was a global event in which each of us could participate in the nearest activity area, and it was a promising development for future. Many Niantic staff members also came to the anomaly in Kobe in September, led by John Hankey. Why not look back and put into words what has happened this year, what you're thinking about now, and what you're looking forward to next year? Items about Operation Sitrep, Ingress FS/LA, Ingress 2S, Second Sunday, Story, Wayfarer, missions, swag production, etc. is also welcome. This is a cross-faction project. Please refrain from excessive agitation and follow agent protocol. So for this, there are going to be, as far as I can ascertain, 25 blog posts. These may be via blogs, notes, Instagram, or Twitter, as mentioned. Brian Rose is writing something about Ingress on December the 25th. What it will be, I don't know. But as an example, some of them have put what they're going to write about on the day. So for Flower AK, they are going to write about experiments to see if it's possible to record Ingress activities on social networking sites other than Twitter. So what I'll do is try and translate all of these and what's been said and provide links there as well. So we go through December. So Brian's is on the 25th, so maybe it's kind of an Ingress Christmas present. But realistically, I don't know what it will be. I've seen little bits of these calendars every year, but never followed one absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. So now I'm going to move on and talk about Second Sunday. Right, now, as you're listening to this podcast, provided you're being good, listening when it comes out, it's currently second Sunday. So, second Sunday happens on the second Sunday of the month between 12 a.m. and 11:59 p.m. local time. And currently, the setup for second Sunday is that you need to complete 6 unique missions between 12 a.m. and 11:59 p.m. on that day to earn credit towards the second Sunday medal. Niantic have had plans to change this and add a few things for it, seemingly to allow agents to use the task-based system instead, which has been called Agent Ops and has been used for a previous anomaly. There's obviously been some issues with that because we've not seen it since March 2023. It may be implemented in future because they've talked about doing it again. So until it changes, the way to earn the medal and participate in Second Sunday is to check nearby missions by tapping the central button on your app and then going on to missions and completing 6 unique ones there. As they can be ones you've done previously, so you could do the same set of missions every second Sunday if you really wanted, but you can't do one mission 6 times and have that count. If there's no missions nearby, you can log into the Ingress mission creator when you're at the appropriate level and create missions there, which then get reviewed by Niantic and they decide whether they're going to go on to the game. So generally a mission involves you going to a few different portals, either in order or in any order that you want. It depends how it's been set up. They may be linked in some way, such as part of a trail, or the churches in the area, or the train station in the area, and you go to either from there or you solve some puzzles as well. There's some I've seen where you have to work out what a certain amount of AP you would get from doing a certain set of actions, or look for date that person was born on a statue of them to make sure you're paying attention. And then once you complete a mission, you will be asked to rate it. And then once you've done the 6 unique ones on Second Sunday, you'll get a credit towards that medal. So agents will often also make special banners by using a series of 6 or more missions and then do them for events such as Second Sunday. I've also seen a few for the Discoverie Kinetic event going around that people have posted up. It's up to agents how long they keep those missions around for. So if you see a good mission you want to do and add to your profile, then I'd encourage you to complete it. There's also a similar medal called Mission Day, and this is earned at special events generally following an anomaly, and it's by doing selected Niantic made missions. I'll go over mission days in a bit more detail in a future episode. For now, I think about wraps up what Second Sunday is and any news that we've had. So I'm going to move into our outro. Thank you all for listening to the 4th episode of the Ingress Insights podcast, hosted by myself, PkmnTrainerJ. As mentioned, you can reach out to us via Instagram or Threads under the name ingress.insights, or you can contact us via email, which is ingressinsights@gmail.com. There's not been too much news in this episode, so it's been a bit of a go on. So I just want to say, obviously, we run polls on each episode via Spotify. The last poll asked how listeners would rate the new Wayfarer experience. So far, we've got 60% thumbs up and 40% thumbs down. If you've not voted in it, please do. It gives you nice insight on what to do next. There's a few episodes ideas are up for discussion, such as details on Mission Day, medals, Machina, glyphs, anomalies, but happy to hear what you want to hear about. So if there is anything you expect to know about or want me to cover or want me to correct, please let me know, and I will see you all next time. Thank you for listening.